So, challenge Gravine Tire. What do you need to know? Well, you've already seen the battle that is fitting them, and if you've read the comments on that fitting video, then you'll know there seems to be more hate than love when it comes to getting challenges onto your rims. But to be fair, after I got the tyre on the wrong way round, when I refitted it, it was noticeably slacker and a lot easier to fit. So maybe with a bit of patience and practice, they're going to pop on relatively easily. But both the tyres did go down after the first ride. Rear one was completely flat. Front one had just lost about 5 psi, which ties in with my experience on other challenge tubeless tyres. They are a bit leaky at first, so you're going to need to be handier with the pump. The good news is the ride feel is absolutely glorious. They are proper silky smooth, and they come up roughly the right size. Certainly on this 25mm internal rim at least. So they're not short-changing you on the girth, and to be honest, they feel like they roll more like a 45 than a 40 over rougher terrain. And even though they come up a bit small, even on these 25mm rims, they actually feel like they size up a lot bigger in terms of riding smoothness. So that's really impressive. But I am quite concerned about what will happen if I puncture them out on the trail. So you're definitely going to need to take some levers with you. And in terms of tread, as you'd expect for what's basically an overgrown Griffo, they grip pretty well in the mud. That's like, so you can see in the proper fill. That starts to trough tread. Just keep on plugging away. And because it's relatively open, it cleans pretty well too. Oh, I've made a mistake doing a beer. Yep, stay down there. It's actually better with a bit of depth of mud to work with. On shallow stuff, it tends to skid around. That does make it quite labour intensive. I've definitely got more confidence than normal as you come over the top. And you can tell this has been the sunny, windy side. It's relatively dry, but still some greasy roots and rocks down here. And a hard turn. Oh, I nearly overshot. I mean, they're not miraculous because that tread is still relatively shallow and there's not a huge amount of bite off camber when you're leaning them into a turn. So again, it's quite a rounded profile with not so much projection on the knobs. And the top of the knobs themselves is relatively flat. What that gives you is a decent roll on the road though. And I like the compound. It's not your typical Italian plasticky, super sketchy in the wet compound. It's actually certainly enough to let me enjoy the handling on my Stig long-termer. I've been doing quite a lot of drifting and sliding around on these tyres, which always feels good on a gravel bike, and if you get them in proper deep, they clean really quickly. At least it cleans the bike off. So, overall, yes. On the whole, much better suited to winter riding than most gravel tyres, but still reasonably okay on the road, and what's more, nice and predictable on the road as well. And most importantly, for a mud tyre, I'm actually confident with how it feels on the road. I don't mind tipping it in slightly. Because the edges don't walk like they can on the WTB Sendero. Goodyear Peak and other tall knobbed gravel tyres. There's no spit and spin out or sudden slap down if you hit a greasy corner, as can happen with some taller knob mud tyres. And the price is reasonable. I mean, considering they're a handmade tyre, price is reasonable, presuming they last okay. I mean, I've ridden them for a week or so now, and it'll take me months to get a proper idea of, you know, how durable they are. So, and I've got, to be honest, I've got too many other tyres to test, so I'm gonna have to leave that to other people to add in the comments. So if you've had them for a while, or you just had them for a few weeks and they went pop, these aren't the extra puncture protected one, they aren't the XP, which is why they're supple. Oh, and they're very light for a gravel tyre as well, thanks to that super high thread count construction. That 270 TPI means there's actually not a lot of rubber in there. All right, cheers. So that's what makes them supple, and it keeps them light as well. So they accelerate nicely. So I mean, so in terms of ride feel, they are a glorious, you know, energetic, buoyant, ego boosting tyre that, you know, will give your bike a real leg up in terms of ride quality. But, you know, there is a lot of extra admin going on with them. Right, so it's actually the other end of the year now. Things are getting filthy again, and to be honest, I was definitely, you know, I mean, tyres are still mounted. Was thinking, oh, maybe, you know, it's getting filthy again. Do I go back onto the Gravines for winter? And yeah, in terms of grip, great. In terms of that lightweight, you know, 480 grams, acceleration, reasonable, slightly noisy rolling on the road. All good things. Ride quality, to be honest, having ridden other tyres over the summer, I think I was blowing a bit of smoke up them. I think I've just been riding quite firm tyres previous. The ride quality is okay. It's not supernatural or miraculous in any way. It's good. It's really, you know, it's right up there, but it can't compare to something like top end Schwalbe or even the new Panaracer Gravel Kings. But at the end of the day, the trouble is, every time I blew these tyres up, because I rode them for quite a while after that video, just sort of familiarised with them, and they're just permanently flat. Really, every time I get into, you know, blow them up, they go flat, blow them up, they go flat, blow them up, they go flat, and there's no holes in them or anything like that. And the thought, I mean, mate, if you haven't watched the video on how I'm fighting to fit these, then, you know, check that out. I'll put a link at the end. But just the practical side of living with them means you're going to have to really, really want the performance from these Challenge Gravines. You know, that lightweight, that mud traction, to really make it worth their while. They're quite a specific tyre. I wouldn't recommend them as a daily driver gravel tyre, even in winter. So I shall continue the quest to find that particular piece of rubber for my gravel arsenal through the next few months. But for now, I've been Guy Kesteven, putting together quite a random selection of video clips, and then calling it a Challenge Gravine Gravel Tire review. Thanks for watching, folks.